Well, there's been mixed reactions from political parties following the ANC's announcement it will pay the costs of last week's flight to Zimbabwe for talks with ZANU-PF. The delegation used an SANDF jet carrying the defense minister, who was headed to Zimbabwe on government business after pressure from various organizations and harsh criticism for using state resources. The ANC yesterday said it would pay back the money for flying its delegation on an SANDF plane. I want to bring in now Sibongile Besani, head of ANC Presidency, to get his take on the matter. Sibongile, very good morning to you.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Thank you very much indeed for coming on. I guess the best place to start is at the beginning. Help us understand, help the viewers understand the reasoning behind the ANC delegation getting on that plane in the first place.
I can hear you. I battle to hear you.
I just want to get your take on the reasoning and the logic behind the ANC delegation getting on that state plane in the first place.
Look, I think the African National Congress has explained its approach to that. And at the heart of the visit of the ANC to Zimbabwe is the challenges that we have. And as the NEC of the ANC, which the president of the ANC was present, the decision has been taken that we need, as part of regular interaction, we needed to interact with our counterparts as liberation movements, especially the ZANU-PF and the African National Congress. We needed to meet with them. So the decision of the NEC is binding on all of us, including the president.
Of the delegation going to Zimbabwe is, we understand that. But where it gets a bit murky is where one would say certain lines between state and party might be getting blurred by a party using a state plane to get to Zimbabwe. Would you agree that those lines have become blurred because the party hitched a ride on a state plane?
Look, what we're striving to do is to always ensure that there's no conflation of the state and the party. And that is why the African National Congress has actually humbled itself in areas where it has found itself to have maybe sort of skipped the line, so to say. So, but the commitment of the ANC to ensure that the conflation of state and party is always not there, is still intact. So that is why the African National Congress yesterday ensured that it committed itself to say, look, where we have made a mistake, we'll humble ourselves before South Africans and do right where wrong has been committed. So it is something that we believe that it shouldn't happen.
You admit that hitching a ride on this plane is wrong?
Pardon?
You admit that by the ANC delegation hitching a ride on the state plane, you admit it's wrong?
Admit what?
That it's wrong. That it was wrong for the delegation to take a ride to Zimbabwe on a state plane. You'd admit that?
The ANC has indicated that where mistakes have been made, it will right them. And I want to believe that it is not out of arrogance that the ANC responds to in the manner it does. It is out of humility. So we do take cognizance that sometimes if lines have been skipped between state and party, it's our duty as the ANC to correct them. So
was the ANC president, was Cyril Ramaphosa aware of this trip?
Look, the NEC, the report on the issue of Zimbabwe was presented before the NEC, and the ANC, the president sits in those meetings. So it's a collective decision.
So he was aware. Was he aware, the president of the ANC, that the ANC delegation was going to use the state plane? Was he aware of that?
No, I can't speak on behalf of what he knows in terms of government.
You said that he was sitting in this meeting when they were discussing.
Can I finish this?
Correct.
If you don't mind.
Yes, sir.
If you don't mind. What I'm saying is, at the NEC, the president is aware about the decision of the NEC about party-to-party interaction between the ANC and ZANU-PF. He is aware of it and is bound by the decisions of the National Executive Committee. So the president has not disassociated himself from decisions of the NEC. Now, on the issues of logistics and all that, I think it is government that can answer with authority on that one, on what was the process and so on.
Mm-hmm. As the head of government, do you expect him to know about this trip?
Pardon?
As the head of state, do you expect the president would have known that the ANC delegation was using this plane?
Look, I know that as the president of the ANC, president knew about the fact that ANC and ZANU-PF were to engage on a matter that we believe it's not only a matter of the ANC and the two parties, it's an issue of national interest, because there's close to about 3 million Zimbabweans who are in our country, and the situation in Zimbabwe needed their attention. You'd remember that earlier on, the envoy of the president from government had gone to Zimbabwe. So at an ANC level, I am aware that the president of the ANC knew about it, knew about the interaction of ZANU-PF and the ANC.
When you say that the ANC humbled itself in order to pay back this money, would you say a large part of that was pressure from other political parties and harsh criticism from civil society?
I missed that. Like I said earlier on, I'm battling to hear. Would I say what?
You said that the ANC has humbled itself in order to pay back this money for using, for hitching a ride on this plane. Would you say that the ANC was pushed in terms of paying back this money to a large part because of pressure from other political parties as well as harsh criticism from civil society?
No, I wouldn't say it's more of pressure from other political parties. The issue is that if the lines of, if conflation of state and party is believed to be there, it is upon the ANC to correct that, whether other parties raise the issue or not. But we believe that this is a matter of national interest, and it's an issue that both parties needed to give attention with urgency it deserved.
Reportedly, the Democratic Alliance is calling for President Cyril Ramaphosa to fire the Defense and Military Veterans Minister. What's your take on that?
I'm battling to hear you, my brother.
There's a call, reportedly, from the DA for President Cyril Ramaphosa to fire the Defense and Military Veterans Minister, Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula. What's your take on that?
Well, I think it is upon the president to decide what to do. But what the president has done is to first gather all the facts around what has actually transpired. And we believe that once the president has gathered all the facts, he will be able to see what decision is best suits whatever would have happened. But as the ANC, taking into consideration that somehow a line might have been crossed, we have continued to humble ourselves before the people of South Africa to say, look, we are going to ride what we believe maybe might have not been, it's actually a mistake, and then we are correcting it. That is why the ANC has made publicly that undertaking that it will correct. If it has to pay, it will refund, reimburse the state where it's necessary.
The public protector, we understand, is probing this matter. Reportedly, the public protector received about 3 complaints regarding ANC officials going on this plane. In terms of your internal processes, help us understand, with the people on that delegation that went to Zimbabwe, will they be facing internal probes?
Look, if I heard you clearly, if people have raised issues with the public protector, I don't think anything untoward, because people who are sort of disaffected by whatever happens in the country and so on, they have a right to go to the public protector, and hopefully a report will come out then. I'm not sure if I understood your question, because I'm trying to
figure out, in terms of the ANC's internal processes, will they be facing any action within the party? Will the party be probing this?
The ANC will be taking any action
against the people that went on this trip? Any internal inquiry?
Look, I'm not sure about that. I think it is for the office of the SDO to really look at those matters. But the fact of the matter here is that those who went to Zimbabwe under the leadership of Secretary General, they were implementing the NEC decision because of the situation, the dire situation, or what we believed at that time is a dire situation in Zimbabwe.
Right.
So obviously the ANC will ventilate on the matter, but whether people will be punished and so on, I have no clue whether that's the direction in which the ANC will go. I can't express a view on that.
The ANC members did leave to Zimbabwe. We are on alert level 2. On their way back, were they put in quarantine due to COVID-19 for 2 weeks or so?
You would realize that most of those who came back, they are now on quarantine for a number of days. So as far as I know, is that all our comrades who have been to Zimbabwe are actually complying so far with the regulations.
So we thank you very much indeed for coming on and giving us your take on the matter. Be well.
No, thank you very much. Thank you. I'm sorry for battling to hear you clearly.
That's fine. I think we got the gist of it. Sibongile Besani, head of ANC Presidency there, talking about the ANC delegation that went on this SANDF flight to Zimbabwe, and giving us some details as to what sort of internal processes and his take on the public protector now probing this matter. Sibongile Besani, head of ANC Presidency.